Hello, Dragon Ball fans! I am your host, Gunchpot, and welcome to Fantasy Fight Season 3, the ultimate Sparking Zero Tournament of Power. In Season 1, we watched iconic Dragon Ball fighters duke it out in Budokai Tenkaichi 4. And in Season 2, we leveled up, hosting tons of tournaments and fights in Sparking Zero. But now, with Fantasy Fight Season 3, we are going even further beyond. So welcome everyone to the ultimate Tenkaichi Budokai in Sparking Zero. Now things are going to be a little bit different this time. We're not just doing one fight per episode. We're not even doing small tournaments. This is the definitive Sparking Zero Championship. Every single fighter is here. And we're going to figure out which of them is the true strongest under the heavens. Now, we are going to be getting right into this tournament in this episode, but I have a couple of important details to go over first. However, if you're impatient and you just want to get to the fights, you can skip to the time code on your screen now. But for those of you who are interested in our process, as well as what we're going to be seeing throughout the rest of the season, then you'll want to stick around for this. First, just like our previous seasons, I'm going to be live commentating every single one of these fights. And of course, I'm going to try to stay as unbiased as possible. I'm just going to say right now, I will be rooting for Tapion. Now, in Season 2, we would do fighter breakdowns. This time around, we're going to be foregoing them for shorter, more snappy, to-the-point character introductions. We have a lot of fights to get through, so we don't need to take any extra time that we don't need to. And like I said, historically in Fantasy Fight, episodes would be released one fight at a time. However, here in the Ultimate Tournament of Power, I'm going to be releasing these episodes in rounds, with this episode being half of round 1. The next episode will be the second half, and round 2 will also be split into 2 parts. Then rounds 3 and 4 will be their own episodes, and rounds 5 through the finals will be our epic season finale. That being said, episodes are going to be released at a much slower cadence. Previously, we were releasing 2 fantasy fights a week, but with these being such a larger scale, that is not going to be possible. But if you are a fan of short form content, you're in luck. Because in between episodes, I am going to be periodically releasing the best fights from the previous episode. So if you haven't seen that I already post YouTube shorts, or if you don't follow me on TikTok and Instagram, you might want to check those out after this episode. Now, in this tournament, we have 103 contestants, which is massive. But you may be thinking, that is fewer than there are characters on the roster. That's because fighters only with a unique designation are going to be entering into this tournament. So Goku Early and Goku End of Z are different designations, even though they are the same person. Both of those fighters are going to be making an appearance here in this season of Fantasy Fight. However, since End of Z Goku has access to Super Saiyan 3, he is going to be default fighting in that form. This is to give every fighter with transformations the best shot in this tournament. Now, it does create a bit of an imbalance for the characters that don't have transformations, but that is just the way that these things go. Everybody is going to be fighting at their maximum strength because everybody wants to win this tournament. Now, that being said, Giants are going to be excluded from this tournament. Giants are simply inconsistent, slow, and their fights are not that entertaining to watch. But if you want to know which of the Giants in Sparking Zero is the strongest, I held a Giants-only tournament between seasons that you can go watch here. And a quick little note, characters that have giant forms, as well as normal size forms, will still be present in this tournament. So characters like base form Slug, as well as Super Janemba, will be present in this tournament. Next thing to note is we will not be compensating fighters with health discrepancies. Some fighters on the roster have 2 health bars and some fighters on the roster have 5. And in a situation where those fighters are put up against one another, simply the lower health fighter is going to have to fight harder. Basically, no fighters are being given any type of artificial buffs. They are going in as they are. Another detail I thought it was important to mention here is how these fighters are going to be behaving. I have found a formula in Sparking Zero that results in some very good entertaining fights. And you can see it on your screen now. Now you can see there are some capsules from custom battles here, and I do have to mod the game to include those capsules in our fights. But I assure you, these capsules do not enhance the fighter's abilities or enhance their performance in any way. It only adjusts their behavior to make the fights as entertaining as possible. Now, the link to the capsules mod that I use is going to be down in the description, so if you're curious and you want to create your own CPU fights, you can use those too. Additionally, the bracket is going to be completely randomized. I felt as though it was the most fair and and the least amount of work to put every single fighter in a random generator, and that determines their matchup. This will ultimately result in some very strong fighters going up against very weak opponents. But I still think that it will result in some very entertaining battles, some insane upsets, and all in all, I think that this was the best way to do it. And I have seen the bracket. For it being randomized, we have some insane matchups. Now, we have one more thing before we get into the fights. And this may have been burning in the back of your mind the entire time I've been up here yapping. But what about Daima DLC Pack 2? Characters like Super Saiyan 4 Daima Goku, Goma have not been added to the roster yet. Well, Daima Pack 2 has no official release date yet. And with the delay of Daima DLC Pack 1, there's really no guarantee that we'll get it anytime soon. And I thought it was in everybody's best interest to proceed with the tournament without delaying for this DLC pack. However, in the event that the DLC pack does drop before this tournament has concluded, I will be hosting a very special Daima DLC tournament, putting every fighter in DLC pack 3 up against one another, and whoever comes out on top will earn a slot in the finals. Okay, I know that was a lot, but with all that out of the way, I hope you're ready, folks, because the ultimate tournament of power and Sparking Zero begins now! All right, folks, it is a beautiful day here at the World Tournament Arena. And we are about to get to our very first battle of Fantasy Fight Season 3. And folks, we are starting off in a weird spot. Our first fighter today is actually two guys. He's the fusion of Goku and Vegeta, and he's been rocking a vest since 1995. And he still makes it look cool. It's Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta! And folks, today he's going up against the daughter of our world champion, Mr. Satan. Her name is an anagram for devil, and she's married to everybody's favorite strong guy nerd, Gohan. It's Videl. It looks like both of these fighters are ready to begin this battle. All I can say is I hope Videl walks away from this one in one piece. Let's begin round 1. All right, let's begin the very first battle of Fantasy Fight Season 3. All right, looks like Gogeta is ready for this fight, but is Videl?
Save your tears. We got a score to settle, understand?
Okay, let's see what the fusion of Goku and Vegeta can do versus Videl, or rather, what can she do to them? She is starting at a massive health disadvantage here in this fight, but she is starting off strong with that nice little kick. All right, she's getting a nice combo in here, doing about half of that first health bar. Gogeta looks like they're just feeling out the water here. All right, and once again, Videl is taking an early lead. I say she's taking an early lead. Again, she is at a massive health disadvantage. But she could bring this fight back if Gogeta is just going to stay here and immediately go for the ultimate Kamehameha. If this connects, it is going to spell disaster for Videl. And it does connect. Videl still with sparking mode online, but that is going to put Videl on her last health bar. I'm surprised she even survived that attack to begin with. All right, she is locked back on. It looks like this is going to be a canonical fight here, folks. All right, Videl going in with her ultimate rush. This is going to deal some good damage, especially with her current position. It's going to be every little bit helps kind of situation. However, he is going for the Punisher drive, and that's it. Folks, we knew this was going to be a short and sweet one. Gogeta takes the victory. And that is going to be Gogeta Blue moving on. And moving on to our next battle, we have up first the Ultimate Life Form. Ever since he stepped up on the stage, he is sought to be the strongest. And he just might be. I mean, check out his perfect form. It's perfect. That's right, folks. It's Perfect Cell. And he's going up against the brother of Goku, L'Oreal's #1 customer, and the villain that time forgot. It's Raditz, and he wants to claim that spot of #1 fighter. Let's begin this battle. All right, this next battle is just about to begin, and just as a reminder, this Perfect Cell is the one that came back after blowing himself up. So this is the strongest version of Cell.
I shall turn everything into darkness.
Alright, and let's see what Raditz will be able to do against this monster.
Why don't I rip them out and show you?
Okay, let's begin. Okay, both fighters right up against one another here, going fist for fist, blow for blow here in the beginning. Raditz immediately getting a nice little combo off against Cell. That is going to put him in the early lead here, but it is still anybody's fight. So, Cell trying to charge up, but Raditz doesn't let him get much higher than 4 key bars. Alright, Raditz is showing out here, folks. He's looking pretty good here in this fight. The instant transmission from Cell gets him close, but he is going for... Ooh, okay, Cell is going to block that attack. Alright, and he goes for the Saiyan Spirit, which is going to give him some buffs here in this fight. Alright, both fighters trying to hit that perception right away, and that is going to be Cell winning that little duel. Now he is going to be charging all the way up. We could see that Solar Kamehameha come out, but we could also be seeing Be Gone coming out from Raditz. Alright, doesn't look like he was going to be using it just yet, but he does still have a little bit of sparking mode. We could also see a beam struggle here if Raditz is quick enough, but if he gets hit by this, it could be disastrous for him. He does get hit by it, and that's going to leave him just over 1.5 health bars. Okay, both fighters are charging up once again. Raditz is also entering sparking mode here, as well as Cell. Okay, a nice little perception. He's getting a good combo off, but Cell's going to interrupt, and he's going for another Kamehameha. We could be seeing the end of Raditz here, folks. And that is going to connect, and that is going to leave him with just a little bit of health left. He does still have sparking mode online, however, he could make this attack count, but he is not going to use it. Cell going for that full power energy beam. He is going to tank that attack, but it is still looking really bad for Raditz here. He's charging up to sparking once again. He could once again use that ultimate attack, but I'm not sure if he's going to. It looks as though Cell was going to try to enter sparking mode himself there, but instead he's going for his rush, but it's not going to connect. Raditz still with that sparking meter burning down. Let's see what he decides to do. He is going for Be Gone. Let's see if it connects. And it does! That is going to leave Cell at just about the same HP as Raditz. This is an intense fight, folks. Both fighters with just a little bit of health left. Cell going for this rush, and it's going to connect! That's going to be Cell taking the victory. Folks, that is perfect Cell. Moving on. Next up, we have the Sumo Samurai, whose most impressive feat might just be cutting off Vegeta's tail. Or maybe it's eating an entire barrel of sensu beans. However, Yajirobe is ready to claim that title of #1. But it's not going to be a walk in the park because his opponent is Chiaotzu, the Psychic Menace. This little crane student is actually the same age as Goku, so don't let his size fool you. He packs quite the ES punch. Alright folks, let's find out who's going to win between Yajirobe and Chiaotzu. Alright folks, we've had some heavy hitters already, so let's chill down with a couple lower level fighters with Yajirobe versus Chiaotzu.
You're a total weirdo.
I'm ready. Let's rumble.
Alright, Chiaotzu's ready to rumble, so let's do it. Chiaotzu is starting at a health disadvantage here, but Yajirobe should be able to effectively make this fight last a little bit shorter than the last one did. Alright, Yajirobe looks like he's charging up. Oh, didn't want to hit the sparking mode there. Chiaotzu going for the Dodon Ray. That is going to put them at about the same health. Chiaotzu actually now in the lead. He made quick work of Yajirobe's health advantage. And that is another Dodon Ray coming out. We could be seeing a lot of those here in this fight, folks. Alright, Chiaotzu's charging up to full. He does not want to use that Farewell Mr. Tien ability. If he blows himself up, it could be bad for him. Alright, Chiaotzu just spamming these Dodon Rays is actually burning Yajirobe down. Okay, and that is going to be a nice little super counter from Yajirobe. He looks like he wants to charge up the sparking mode now. He is not feeling great about Chiaotzu doing all that damage to him. Chiaotzu is going for the Farewell Mr. Tien, however, Yajirobe managed to enter into the clash. Chiaotzu winning that clash, but Yajirobe now has his sparking meter online, and he is going for the Miracle Kablam Slash, and that's going to connect. He's going left, right, Chiaotzu's dodging him, he goes up. What happened to his sword? There it is, big slash from Yajirobe. Doesn't put Chiaotzu on the same health bar as him, but it was a nice effort nonetheless. Alright, and he's going sparking mode once again. Chiaotzu paralyzes Yajirobe for the moment, but he just stands there and looks at him. He says, you know what's about to happen. You're about to get Dodon Raid. And that's it. Chiaotzu taking the victory. Chiaotzu is gonna be moving on. Alright folks, already in this tournament, we have another Saiyan. He's a beast from Vegeta. He was one of Vegeta's best generals, as well as Vegeta's partner. And each one of those Vegetas is a different thing. It's Nappa. And he's going up against the very delicious sounding Garlic Jr. Garlic Jr. is one of the few who actually achieved immortality with the Dragon Balls. And though it sounds like he would be delicious in a pasta dish, he wishes only to taste victory. Let's begin the fight between Nappa and Garlic. Alright, this should be an interesting one. I am excited to see which of these fighters comes out on top. Just feel that power.
Beat me. Soon you will know the wrath of the immortal Garlic Jr.
He is immortal, so it's gonna be interesting to see what happens here. Alright, right away, a lot of key spam coming out from Garlic. Alright, he smacks Nappa away, and that gives him an opportunity to charge up here. Alright, but he doesn't charge up too terribly much. Now, Nappa's going to use this cover. We have a full power energy wave coming out, and that's actually going to connect, dealing a lot of damage to this Saiyan. But he is going to be using this napalm-esque attack, but that is going to get blocked by Garlic. So far, Garlic is looking pretty good in this fight. Again, spamming a lot of ki right now. Alright, he's going once again for this. Oh, okay, that one is going to get blocked. Those beams could be pretty ruthless if Nappa starts tanking a lot of them. Alright, Nappa and Garlic are just kind of charging up ki, but they're not getting much to show for it. Alright, Nappa now finally going on the offensive. Alright, he goes for the Saiyan Spirit, I believe. Now he's charging up. It looks like he wants to enter sparking mode, but instead he baits that, but Garlic is going to still end up blocking it there, and then tries to ki spam a little bit. We're getting some slowdown. Nappa once again going for this specific attack. I'm not sure what his appeal for this attack is. It actually seems like a harder one to hit, but alright, he is charging up now. Ooh! Garlic hits that grab. It looked like he was going to try to charge up to use that Nappa cannon, but it doesn't look like he's able to just yet, but he does charge up to sparking, and he allows Garlic to do the same. So now the dead zone is online, but he goes for that full power energy wave instead. And Nappa now looks like he is going for his ultimate Nappa cannon. Will this hit? It does! Dealing a lot of damage to Garlic, putting them now on the same health bar, but Nappa is in the lead. Alright, while Garlic is locked off after getting hit by that epic attack, Nappa's going to try to charge up, but he just gets grabbed and then follows up with that beam once again, reclaiming the lead. Alright, Nappa, his armor has been damaged quite a bit. He's now just here in his undies, and both fighters are once again in sparking mode. I'm curious to see if the dead zone is going to come out here. Nappa looking really good right now with the Saiyan Spirit as well as sparking mode, but he's not doing much with it. He's just kind of standing there, toying with Garlic. Alright, the paralysis type beam is going to be coming out here, and that is going to force Nappa's sparking meter to burn down, and so does Garlic. So both of these fighters basically did nothing. A big Sonic Sway coming out from Nappa here, and he's going to follow up with this attack that Garlic is just going to block again. Okay, let's see what Nappa decides to do. Folks, if he wants to win this fight, he's going to have to put in a lot of work, and he gets a nice combo off, and once again tries to follow up with this attack. I don't think it does anything. I think the movement of Garlic while he was flying away was enough to just dodge that attack. Both fighters now entering sparking mode once again. Okay, and that was a big vanish. The dead zone is coming out. If this connects, it's over for Nappa, and it looks like it is. He's going to get sucked into the void. And that is it. Garlic Jr. taking that victory. Alright folks, and that is Garlic Jr. advancing. Alright, next up we have the leader of the dangerous trio, Bergamo. Bergamo may look like a fluffy pup, but this canine's bite is bigger than his bark. And his opponent is Tien, the Triclops from the Crane School, and one of Goku's oldest rivals. He's a master of martial arts and a man who doesn't like losing. Let's begin Bergamo versus Tien. Let's keep powering through, folks. We have Bergamo versus Tien now.
You looking to get mauled? Take one more step and you'll feel my fangs. Aim to be the best of the best.
All right, this fight is just about to get going, and right away, Tien knocking away Burggamo and then following up with that Dodon Ray, dealing a ton of damage right away. But we have that Wolfgang Penetrator, I believe that's called, but Tien managed to dodge it. Okay, both fighters dashing around. Burggamo getting some nice damage off here, but not enough to put him in the lead. Once again, going for that energy beam. Tien is going to be taking just some poke damage here, but it looks like he's doing the same to Burggamo. Both fighters looking to do a little bit of a perception there. All right, so we get a Snap Vanish duel, and that one is going to go to Burggamo. Both these fighters are just about the same HP, and it looks like Burggamo is now entering Sparking mode. Let's see if he can get in quick enough to stop Tien. He doesn't immediately. Tien goes for the Neo Tri-Beam, and he only uses the one. It doesn't do a ton of damage, but it does cement his lead. All right, he does once again go for that beam, and that puts Burggamo back in the lead. And then he, ooh, it looked like he was going to charge up to Sparking mode there. But instead, he's going to stop Tien from doing that. And that is going to put Tien at about 1.5 health bars. It is looking really, really good for Burggamo here, though both of these fighters should focus more on getting in close instead of using these beams. Once again, Tien using his ultimate attack. That is just dealing damage to him, though it is still doing good damage to Burggamo. The fact that he's only able to hit one of these each time. All right, it looks like he is going once again for that beam attack. He doesn't feel like he needs to call in the reinforcements. Of course, that ultimate attack of Burggamo's, he's just spamming these beams, and that is Burggamo moving on. What an upset.
Pathetic little pup.
That is Burggamo advancing. This next battle is the first Super Saiyan we're going to be seeing in the tournament. He's from the distant future. The son of Vegeta returns to claim the title of Ultimate Fighter. He's fought androids and gods, but is his tenacity and experience enough to win him this battle? But is Future Trunks strong enough to defeat his opponent? Slug? Hailing from planet Namek, Lord Slug came to Earth and wished for youth on the Dragon Balls. He may not be the most popular Namekian, but he's going to make sure you remember his name. It's time for Super Saiyan Future Trunks versus Lord Slug. Okay, and just as a reminder, this is blue-haired Trunks from the Goku Black arc. And he's ready to defeat Slug.
How many seconds do you think you'll last against me?
It's a great question, man. All right, let's go and see how many seconds this fight is gonna last. All right, right away, both fighters doing a little bit of damage to one another. Okay, oh man, Trunks getting that perception there. Kind of unlucky if you ask me. All right, right away, we are going to be having that, oh, that laser beam that is just going to pierce through Trunks. Trunks not looking so hot in the beginning of this fight here, but there is still a lot of fight left to go, folks. All right, let's see, he could charge up. I believe he has access to a plethora of techniques, 2 beams specifically. I believe he has Gallic Gun or Masenko as well as Final Flash. And then his ultimate, of course, is the Sword of Hope, whereas Slug is completely happy just spamming this beam. All right, both fighters once again taking a little bit of a break. That explosive wave coming out from Trunks, stopping that combo from Slug, but it just doesn't matter. These beams are coming out non-stop from them. Okay, he gets a little bit of stun from that, that full charge Ki Blast. Trunks trying to do his best here, but Slug is being low-key, kind of relentless right now. But now Trunks has him in a corner. If he wins that, oh, it doesn't look like he did. Trunks just getting beaten down by Slug. And then there's going to be another one of these beams coming out, and that's just going to put Trunks on his last health bar. Once again, trying to use that explosive wave to stop the onslaught, but it is just not enough. Trunks getting beaten down just by Slug's fists, and then the explosive wave from Slug comes out as well. Trunks is going to need to do something intense here if he wants to bring this fight back, but it's just not looking good for him. One good attack from Slug is going to put Trunks down. And that is going to be a little bit of Ki Blast spam. Alright. Trunks trying to keep his distance. This is smart, but if he gets hit by too many of those beams, it's going to be over for him. He's actually 1 HP. I didn't even see what he just got hurt by, but that is Slug taking the victory. And folks, that's going to be Slug moving on. And our next battle is going to be a fun one, folks. This big pink blob is ready for battle, and I'm not talking about your mom. Majin Buu is nearly indestructible, and don't let his love for sweets and childlike demeanor fool you. He packs one major punch. And his opponent is the Saibaman. Grown from a seed, the Saibaman is a biological marvel. You better watch out for his finishing move. It'll leave both fighters down for the count. Let's get right into Majin Buu versus a Saibaman. Alright, I've always wondered what would happen if Majin Buu fought a Cyberman. That's just not true. But we'll see what happens now. Buu is ready to hurt Cyberman. A man, a few words. Alright, let's go. Both fighters charging up. It looks like Buu is starting at a little bit of a health advantage over the Cyberman here. Oh, but that acid is going to come out right away, stunning Buu, giving the Cyberman an opportunity to run away and charge Ki, I guess. Alright, both firing off a bunch of Ki blasts at each other here. Both fighters now charging up. Cyberman going to try to enter sparking mode, but stops just in time to block that Majin Kamehameha. Alright, Buu once again charging up. Cyberman once again trying to charge up, but Buu is being pretty good about not letting him enter sparking mode there. He knows that if he blows himself up, it's not going to be good for either of them. Alright, that full power energy wave is going to come out, and Buu is going to block it. But once again, that acid is going to come out. Buu is just going to get paralyzed and take a little bit of poke damage here. But Buu is maintaining his lead at this point. Cyberman looks like he wanted to go in for some combos here, but Buu is just so big, and of course his skin, his body, whatever it's made out of, it is able to bounce off a lot of attacks. So maybe getting in close is not the play. Alright, we are going to be using the Burggamo attack, and that is going to get blocked by the Cyberman. And then he goes for the Kamehameha follow-up, but that's going to get, that's going to hit, actually. Okay. Alright, Cyberman still has his sparking mode online, but I don't know if now is the time to blow himself up, or maybe now it is, as he's now on his last health bar anyways. It could be worth it to throw it all away just to try to take Buu down with him. But Buu is going to enter sparking mode as well. It is between Buu's explosive wave and the Cyberman, although he's going for the gum attack again, and that's going to get dodged. The Cyberman could come in. He's going again. He's just ripping parts of his body out and throwing them, but the beam is going to come out, and that is actually going to counter each other. Neither of those attacks are going to get off, and now the Cyberman, still sitting at about half of his final HP, is maybe going to get hit by this rush, and he does! Buu wrapping him up in his own skin and then bouncing on him like some sort of plaything, puts the Cyberman down. And I'm sure nobody is surprised that Majin Buu is moving on. That last one was pretty good, but this fight is gonna be a doozy. Because folks, a new god is entering the arena. With the power to destroy the universe, this battle hardly seems fair. But hey, stranger things have happened. It's the god of destruction, Toppo, versus Piccolo. He's the Demon King, the #1 aura farmer. Piccolo has a knack for looking awesome and doing his best, and that's exactly what he's gonna do in this fight. It's time for Toppo versus Piccolo! Okay, folks, this one is going to be interesting. I am so excited to see what Orange Piccolo can do to a god of destruction.
My universe will survive. I've been training hard since the Tournament of Power. Something tells me you haven't.
All right, Piccolo has some big words for the god of destruction, Toppo, and Toppo does not care for it. He gets a big combo and then hits Piccolo with the Hakai right away, putting Piccolo down over a full health bar. Piccolo now is going to have an opportunity to answer back, but a big Z counter duel is going to go to Toppo, but he does Percept out of it. Piccolo trying to break through this guard, but it's just not happening. The Hakai comes out once again. It looks like he blocks it, but it still does a little bit of damage to him. Piccolo needs to do a lot of work here in this fight to make it up. but Toppo vanishing around both of these fighters, blitzing around the stage in the blink of an eye. I can hardly keep up with what's happening. Piccolo finally getting a good hit off, but it's just not enough to bring it back. Some huge vanishes in this fight, folks. What in the world is going on? Toppo now getting an opportunity to charge. It doesn't look like Piccolo's going to be doing the same thing. Piccolo is just hanging out while Toppo enters into sparking mode, and then he goes for the super large sphere of destruction. Folks, if Piccolo gets hit by this, it could be over. Let's see if he can dodge this attack or if it is going to be all over. He does dodge that attack. Luckily, it doesn't do too much damage to the world surrounding him. Piccolo now trying to charge up himself, but instead he uses all of his ki to rush in and ki blast spam, and then Toppo hits the Sonic Sway. Toppo is looking so clean in this fight, catching Piccolo's kick like it's nothing, and then sending him flying and following up with a point-blank Hakai, leaving Piccolo with 2 health bars left. And he only managed to burn down Toppo's first one. A lot of perception is coming out from both of these fighters here, folks. It is not looking so good for Piccolo, but he is putting everything into this fight. All right, Piccolo is now charging up. He's going to get hit by this Hakai, but he does manage to block most of its damage. Both fighters are going to need to charge up here. Once again, Piccolo losing these duels, and now he is on his last health bar. He goes for the resolution. That is Toppo getting some buffs. Piccolo coming in with some ki blast spam. He's doing everything that he can, but the power of a God of Destruction is just too much, even for the power that Shenron gave to Piccolo. And with the Hakai, that is Orange Piccolo out of the tournament. An absolutely brutal showcasing, and Toppo even had the audacity to call Piccolo worthless.
Alright folks, it is time to move on to the next fight. First up, we have Kui. A Frieza soldier, Kui isn't particularly powerful, but he has a handful of tricks up his sleeve, so don't count him out. And his opponent in this fight hails from Universe 6, it's Kale. Kale is a Saiyan from another universe. When Kale first tapped into her Super Saiyan power, she lost control. This is that primal Saiyan power that's relentless. Kale doesn't even know the word lose. Hell, I'm not even sure in this form she knows how to read. It's time for Kui versus Kale.
Okay, let's see if this catfish Frieza soldier can defeat Berserk Kale. Okay, a lot of talk of death here, but I have a feeling only one of these fighters is going to be at risk of losing their life, and it certainly isn't Kale. Okay, a lot of vanishing around. Kale now getting a good little combo off here. That is going to be putting Kui down over his first health bar within the first moments of this battle. Okay, a nice little counter from Kui. He looks like he's going to be wanting to enter the offensive here, but Kale is just not going to let him. She gets a little bit staggered, unexpected by the strength of this adversary, but he does kick her away and begins charging up. We could see Frieza maybe appear in this battle. That's just a little joke, of course. But Kale doing a lot of poke damage to Kui here. He goes for the full power energy wave, and she does manage to dodge it, actually. Now she's going to try to charge up, but Kui is going to try to close that distance, not allow her to charge up too much ki. He's managed to burn down Kale's first health bar. Of course, she is still in the lead. He hits that nice little grab. He's doing a lot of work here, though, folks. Kui, surprisingly. Oh, okay, Kale uses that yell, which is going to stun him briefly. That could have given her an opportunity to either do a lot of damage or escape. She does it again, not doing a ton of damage to Kui while he's stunned. Now, he has all of his blast stocks online. We could see some of his skills coming out. He could sleep. Kale is going to let him. Okay, it looked like she was going to let him regain his health, but instead he is going to be put on his final health bar. She once again just yells at him, which is enough to stun him in place, and gets a pretty brutal combo off, which puts him almost down into his final breaths. But she manages to stop before allowing him, or allowing herself, to finish him off. Now, she does let him sleep there, and he does regain some of his health, which kind of puts him back into this fight. Or maybe it was all part of Kale's plan to just toy with him. He goes for that full power energy wave blast volley, and that is going to put them on the same health bars, though Kale is still in the lead here, once again stunning him. She's liking stunning him. It's like she's just toying with him at this point.
Now, of course, she does have a little bit of super armor. Oh, but he managed to break through it there and send her flying. Kui putting up a surprise performance here in this fight. Alright, but he is once again on his last health bar, but he is not going down without a fight, folks. Let's see what Kale decides to do, if she is in fact just toying with him, or if Kui is more powerful than we all thought. He's about halfway down his final health bar now, and we see the first blast, I believe, from Kale coming out, and that's going to put him down even lower. One more solid attack could be the end of Kui. He could try to sleep, but I don't know if she's going to let him. He's stunned once again, and with just 2 punches, Kale puts Kui down. I know Kale called that fight boring, but I'd say it was anything but. However, Kale is moving on.
Alright folks, we are still at the beginning of this tournament, but we are already getting our second Pride Trooper. And it's Jiren, the strongest enemy Goku has ever faced. A clear frontrunner in this tournament. His backstory may be lame, but that doesn't make him any less fierce. And his opponent in this round is going to be adult Gohan in his Super Saiyan 2 form. Gohan may have let himself go in his adulthood, but he's back in the swing of things, and he can still get the job done. Looks like they're ready. It's time for Jiren versus Gohan.
Okay, folks, I am excited for this one. Jiren, of course, is extremely powerful, but this would be an excellent time for Gohan to prove himself. But look at that walk!
What is your reason for fighting?
There is a lot of power at play. But Gohan is looking ready. Of course, Jiren is starting with a bit of a health advantage and immediately hits that Sonic Sway. And then a little bit of Ki Blast spam. Gohan now trying to size up Jiren, it looks like. But Jiren doesn't even need to worry about it. He is confident going into this fight. Look at the fast flurries. Like I said, Jiren might just be one of the top contenders for this tournament, and I would not be surprised to see him win. He hits that energy beam. Gohan now almost on his second to last health bar already in this fight, but he's going to be entering into sparking mode. That Super Kamehameha is going to come out. Let's see if that connects, because this might just be what he needs to finish off Jiren. The first damage he's done to Jiren in this fight is that Kamehameha, and it does a lot. Let's see now if Gohan wants to try to do it again. This might be his play if both of these fighters are just going to use their sparking mode. It looks like he is going for that Kamehameha again. Is Jiren going to be using his Magnetron attack? He is. We could be seeing a beam struggle here, folks. We don't. It doesn't get off in time, and that is going to be Jiren and Gohan now on completely opposite footings from where they started this fight. Gohan is now in the lead. Jiren once again charging up to full. We could see another Kamehameha coming out. We are seeing this attack come out from Jiren, but it is not his ultimate attack. Gohan once again just spamming Kamehamehas. He must have learned this from his father, and that's going to connect again. Is that going to put Jiren down? It does! Super Saiyan 2 Gohan knocking out full power Jiren. An unbelievable upset, folks. That is Gohan moving on.
And moving on to our next battle, we have the original Goku lookalike, Turles. Turles loves fruit, but what's really bananas is that his name is actually a reference to lettuce. And it looks like we're already getting Gohan back in the mix, because up against Turles is Beast Gohan. Gohan has always been a fan favorite, and with this shiny new form, he's ready to validate everyone who's been rooting for him. After all, it's called Beast for a reason. Let's get right into it, folks. Turles versus Beast Gohan.
I'm not sure if Gohan is ready to be done asserting his dominance. Not that I'm trying to play favorites in this fight, but I don't know if Turles stands a chance. Look at him. Oh, Gohan, you just don't get it. There is no backing down in the ultimate tournament of power. Okay, Turles right away doing a little bit of damage to Gohan, but Gohan, maybe that was just a little bit of pity from him, because it looks like he is already charging all the way up all of his ki, and of course Gohan in his beast form does have a little bit of a health advantage as well. Just spamming some ki here. Okay, Turles winning that Snap Vanish duel. Now they're fighting in the parking lot outside of the arena. This is feeling awfully personal. I don't know if Gohan has some bad memories, doesn't like that Turles looks like his dad, or if he's just angry and needs to let loose. But this is looking kind of brutal for Turles. Gohan just dealing a ton of damage using only his fists and his ki blast. He doesn't need to use any special techniques. He's just throwing hands, putting Turles down on his last health bar with nothing but punches and kicks. This is incredible work from Gohan. He's already put Turles down in one-hit territory. He doesn't need to charge ki, but he is going for this Demon Flash, and that is he even alive anymore? Somebody check on Turles because that was a beatdown. Beast Gohan is moving on. Oh my goodness, that was brutal. All right, and in this next matchup, we are having a battle of the old-timers. First up, we have the creator of the androids, Dr. Gero. But his mind isn't the only thing Gero has going for him. He put his brain into a modified cybernetic body himself, so he can swing with the big boys. Versus Master Roshi. He taught Goku everything he knows, although he may be a little too into women. But when it comes time to throw down, he can focus up and use his years of experience in battle to get the job done. Let's begin Dr. Gero versus Master Roshi. All right, this battle should be fun. Dr. Gero versus Roshi.
I will drain the life out of you until there is nothing left.
Just a couple of old timers in the ring.
This is what I can really do.
Okay, let's see. Gero might be at a little bit of an advantage, of course, because Roshi can't fly. All right, again, he's sweeping the landscape there, only doing a little bit of damage. Of course, he can also consume ki, which might be a big advantage for him versus Roshi, who might be trying to spam some Kamehamehas here. But he is a martial arts master after all. He's very wise and very powerful in his own right. So it looks like both of these fighters are about even in health here. Roshi definitely managing to keep up the pace at the very least. Okay, Gero is going to be getting some buffs there, which might just be what he needs. He's getting a nice combo off here. But Roshi's guard is actually quite impeccable here in this fight. Okay, both of these fighters, this is going to be a bit of a slower fight, folks. Both of these men are a bit older, you know, and you have to understand. But Roshi is putting in the moves on Gero right now. Gero once again wanting to use some of these buffs. And of course, Gero, being an android, doesn't have ki to charge. So, while Roshi might be wanting to charge up some ki, Gero has no reason to let him. But Roshi now has all of his skill stocks available, and he is going to take this opportunity to charge up. And it looks like he's going to be entering sparking mode. We could be seeing that max power original Kamehameha come out. He's taking a couple steps back here. It looks like maybe he was getting ready for it. He also has a little bit of super armor himself now. Let's see what he decides to do. Gero opting for buffs here. Is he going to be shooting this Kamehameha through the stage? He is, and that is going to make contact. It was not his full power Kamehameha, but it is powerful nonetheless. He is once again in sparking mode. We could still see that max power Kamehameha come out. He's just going to be doing some sidestepping. He's taking some steps back, and Gero is going to be getting behind him, doing a nice little combo. Gero not in the lead here, but he is trying to do his best. He is not out of this fight yet. Okay, Roshi lets that sparking meter burn down. He's going to be trying to charge up once again while Gero is flying away. This is the opportunity. He's going for this max power Kamehameha. This man is putting everything he has into this attack. Is it going to connect? It does! And that is going to be Master Roshi moving on to the next round of the tournament. Wow, the Turtle Hermit himself moving into round 2. All right, it is time to cool things down because our first fighter up here in the next round is Frost. He's the same race as Frieza, though he hails from Universe 6. He comes equipped with a poison needle and the drive to win at any cost. And we are seeing a third Gohan already in the tournament here, Kid Gohan. Now he may be small, but when he gets mad, he can tap into some serious power. Now Gohan might only be 5, but the only number he cares about is number 1. Let's begin Frost versus Kid Gohan. All right, folks, this is when the randomized bracket is well, not working in the favor of a fighter.
What a generous offer.
I mean, it's just not looking great for Gohan here.
I don't really like fighting very much.
Doesn't matter if you don't like it, kid, you gotta do it anyways. Of course, Frost is starting at a health advantage, and immediately burning down Gohan's first health bar with one simple finger beam. And it's just unfortunate, you know? Gohan didn't deserve this, but it is what he got, and he is going to have to work with it. Alright, a nice little Z counter into a Snap Vanish duel, and that is going to be won by Frost, who is entering Sparking mode here. We could be seeing a Death Ball come out, but we could also be seeing Gohan's ultimate attack. He goes for that Masenko just to try to do a little bit of damage to Frost, but instead Frost does go for his Death Ball attack, and it's pretty point blank. That connects. I don't know if it's going to leave Gohan at 1 HP. I didn't think it was going to be enough to defeat him, but it's not looking great for the boy. Although he does get a nice little Masenko off there. He could try to get another one, but if these connect, it's going to hurt. Okay, he enters Sparking mode and then gets punched in the face.
This is a valuable experience for both of us. Thank you kindly.
Folks, that's gonna be Frost. Moving on.
Alright folks, this next battle is going to be an interesting one. First up, we have Recoome. One of the members of the Ginyu Force, Raccoome's gimmick was just being strong, I think, which was super duper undermined when he got beaten right away. Anyway, I'm sure he wouldn't let that happen twice, right Recoome?
Hey, shut up!
Alright, and moving on. Recoome is going up against the Immortal Zamasu. Now, this is the fusion of Zamasu and Goku Black, and this version has been corrupted after his mortal body sustained damage while fused with his immortal body. Now, he may be ugly, but he is fully capable of making you look worse than him, if not just removing you from existence entirely. Let's see what happens, folks. It's time for Recoome versus fused corrupted Zamasu.
Alright, we do have another bit of a power disparity here. Recoome is a very strong person, but Zamasu is two gods. This one is going to be interesting.
Perfect world, people like you would not exist. But this is not a perfect world yet.
I must remind Zamasu, you are not allowed to kill your opponent. Okay, Zamasu does start with a little bit of extra health, but Recoome is making quick work of that bonus. Recoome putting in a lot of work here in the beginning of this fight, doing a ton of damage to Zamasu just with his bare fists. And Zamasu looks like he's going to be trying to deal some of it back, but Raccoon's guard is actually quite extraordinary here. They are about on the same health, but it is still anybody's fight early here in the round. Alright, Zamasu is charging up. He's going to also be hitting that buff move. A nice little S counter, or Z counter into Snap Vanish. And that is going to be Zamasu. Looks like he's charging up. We could be seeing his ultimate attack, which would not be very good for Recoome. Recoome is going for that volley attack. I don't know why he would do that. And Zamasu himself going for his little blast attack. But Recoome manages to punch it out of the way. Zamasu does once again enter Sparking mode, but Recoome does the exact same thing. He goes for the Eraser Gun, and we're seeing a beam struggle here, folks. Let's see which of these fighters comes out on top. It's not going to be good for Recoome if he loses, and he does. That is going to be Zamasu taking the clear lead. He was already in the lead, but now it's going to be a lot harder for Recoome to recover here. And he is once again charging up all the way into Sparking mode. Both of these fighters wanting to be staying at their max power as much as possible, which I understand. All right, we do see another one of these coming out, but that is going to get deflected and sent into the atmosphere. It looks like Zamasu is going for that ultimate attack, but Recoome does manage to dodge out of the way, and then he slides down the stands. I don't know what he's doing. He feels a little bit lost. He's going again for this volley, but I don't think any of those connect. Zamasu is really liking sending this ball of ki at Recoome, but Recoome is doing a pretty good job of sending it away. And he does manage to dodge that one as well. He goes for another Eraser Gun, and that's going to be point blank, doing about 6,000 damage here to Zamasu. And he's going for another one, although Zamasu is going to be able to block that one. Okay, both fighters now face to face, ready to continue their battle. Recoome doing his best, but that explosive wave is going to come out from Zamasu, stopping the combo. Now, combos coming out from Zamasu is looking pretty good, putting Recoome on his last health bar, but he doesn't manage to get the follow-up there. It looks like he got a little bit of lost in that fight. And now, he is going to be getting some more buffs. Recoome getting some armor himself. Looks like he wants to charge up here, but Zamasu doesn't really care. He's getting in close. He's using that big goopy arm of his to just put the moves on Recoome. But Recoome is not going down without a fight here, folks. Even though he goes down, he was swinging until his last.
You are pathetic. All of your efforts were for nothing. Now, dissipate from me.
All right, folks, and that is going to be Zamasu moving on to fight Zamasu in the next round.
All right, folks, I hope you enjoyed that last battle, because this next one is going to be a bit of a familiar one. First up, we have Super Saiyan Blue Goku. The first Goku of our tournament, he's fighting in his blue form. He has all the techniques you've come to know, including the timeless classic Kaioken. And of course, his opponent is Majin Vegeta, which is the last form of Vegeta to enter a tournament. I hope this time goes better than it did last time.
Hey, shut up!
The contestants need to stop shouting back at me. Anyway, after letting Babidi corrupt his mind, Vegeta embraced the darkness within him and went on a rampage. And it seems like he has unfinished business. Like I said, this is a classic Goku versus Vegeta battle, but we'll have to see, is the power of the Majin stronger than the power of the God? Let's find out now.
I love a classic Goku versus Vegeta duel. This one will be interesting to see. Just look at the power overflowing from Super Saiyan Blue.
I'm excited to face someone as strong as you. But to be honest, I'm a bit nervous.
I don't gotta be nervous, buddy. There's a lot of power coming out from both of these fighters here.
If you don't want to die, then you had better give me everything you've got.
All right, let's go here, folks. Immediately, Goku coming out with a big combo. Z counters coming out left and right here, and Goku is going to be winning that one. Okay, that final impact is coming out from Vegeta right away. That is going to be both of these fighters on about the same health here. Within just moments of this fight, a lot has happened. Vegeta turning tail a little bit here just to charge up some ki. And he is once again going for this big bang attack, which Goku is going to block. Vegeta now currently in the lead, but that may not last for long as Goku is coming out with this big combo, dealing a ton of damage to Vegeta. Now, we could see that final explosion come out, but it looks like that big bang attack is going to come out first. Now, Goku could use a little bit of sparking mode here if he wants to use that ultimate Kamehameha that he has. But instead, he is going for this no hard feelings hit, and that's going to connect. He says, hey, sorry, buddy, but you're about to get smacked. And then he does. Vegeta now almost on his last health bar, and Goku is entering sparking mode. This may be Vegeta. Oh, it looks like Goku is going to be using this ultimate attack here. This big Kamehameha is going to come out, and I don't know if Vegeta is going to be able to dodge. He does not. That's going to be the end of Vegeta. Goku absolutely putting the moves on Majin Vegeta there.
Forward to a real fight. What are we waiting for?
He's not even... He thought that was the warm-up. Goku. And that is going to be Goku. Moving on.
Moving right along, folks, let's get into the next fight. First up, we have Dborah, the previous king of the demon realm. This man is basically the devil. He can spit fire, and I'm not talking hip-hop. Dborah is ready to send the competition to hell. And we have another Vegeta entering the ring. This is Super Vegeta. This form of Vegeta was capable of severely damaging Perfect Cell, which was quite the feat at the time. If he busts out the final flash in this battle, I hope he's not aiming it at the earth. Let's see who will take the victory between Dborah and Super Vegeta.
All right, I'm excited for this battle. This, I think, is the first time we've seen Super Vegeta in Fantasy Fight.
Witness the power of the king of the demon realm.
Well, the ex-king of the Demon Realm.
The Super Saiyan that surpassed all other Super Saiyans. Super Vegeta!
All right, Vegeta, keep it in your pants. Let's go. All right, both these fighters sizing each other up, doing almost exactly mirrored movements here. Oh, look at that aura. Dborah's aura is so nice looking. Okay, both of these fighters taking it slow here in the beginning. Vegeta trying to keep his guard up here, Dborah wanting to test the waters, but again, both of these fighters taking it extremely slow, Dborah playing it safe almost. But now Vegeta comes out with a big combo. I guess that's what he was looking for here, and we see that big bang attack come out, but it looks like it connected the stage before it hit Dborah. Okay, Vegeta now flying away again to see if he could charge up, I guess, but it doesn't look like Dborah is going to let him. He gets a really big combo off there. Both of these fighters, again, at about even health here. Dborah charging all the way up, and so is Vegeta. We could see the final flash make an appearance, and we are. This is his strongest attack. We'll see if it connects, because if it does, it's gonna be bad. But he's going for the evil impulse, but he doesn't have enough time. It is going to connect, and that's going to deal a lot of damage. Almost 20,000 to Dborah, who's now currently locked off of Vegeta, but he gets locked on quick enough, and now both fighters are once again entering sparking mode. All right, it looks like we are seeing that evil impulse come out once again, and Vegeta just knocks it away like it's nothing. All right, and then he's going to come in and use that Super Saiyan power. I don't know why he's punching the air there. Another evil impulse is coming out, and that is going to get blocked once again. The sparking meter is burning down from Vegeta, but if he wants to use that final flash again, now is the time to do it. He's not going to, it looks like, he's going to let that burn down, but he's going to instead just punch Dborah, and instead Dborah is going to win that Z counter duel there. Looks like that was slowing down the world a little bit. We're kind of watching this fight in slow motion, but Vegeta is still absolutely relentless. He hits that explosive wave to end that combo, and now both of these fighters are once again kind of trying to size each other up a little bit, but Vegeta going for the big bang attack, and that's going to take Dborah down. That is going to be Vegeta moving on.
And for the third battle in a row, folks, we have a Vegeta. This time, Super Saiyan 4. After Bulma used a Blutz Wave amplifying device, Vegeta managed to unlock the peak of Saiyan evolution, Super Saiyan 4. And it looks like the Saiyan Prince is ready to take his revenge on Frieza once and for all, because that's who he's up against. Full power Frieza. At one point, Frieza was the strongest being in the galaxy. Frieza is responsible for the destruction of planet Vegeta and the genocide of the Saiyans. He is a ruthless monster, and he will fight to the end if necessary. Let's see who'll come out on top between Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta and full power Frieza.
Yeah, we have seen some Vegetas take W's and others not so much, so I'm curious to see what's gonna happen here. I mean, Super Saiyan 4 versus Frieza. This should be a good fight. All right, let's go. Okay, both fighters right away just kind of sizing each other up, but Frieza comes out with some good-looking attacks. All right, now he's behind Vegeta, manages to put in a lot of work, but Vegeta snaps out of it and is now going to be charging up a little bit. Oh, he's charging all the way up to sparking mode, which means we could be seeing the final shine attack here in the beginning, and we are! We could be seeing Frieza's ultimate attack as well. That would be an excellent beam struggle if we do. Oh, it looked like Frieza was going to try to dodge it, but he couldn't get out of the way in time. That is going to be Vegeta taking the lead here in this fight, but Frieza still has some sparking mode. He is going to be using this attack now. Let's see if he can deal that damage back. He can! We are back and forth right now, folks, and Frieza reclaims the lead. Okay, let's see what they want to do now. Both fighters have seen their ultimate attacks used in this fight, and they are both in sparking mode once again, and Vegeta is once again going for the final shine attack. And that is once again going to connect. They are back and forth with these beams. I don't think that puts Frieza down, but it does put him low. But he could once again answer back here and do the exact same thing to Vegeta. If Vegeta gets hit by this, it is over. And that is it. Vegeta is going to get taken down in a battle of ultimate attacks, but Frieza takes the victory. That's full power Frieza moving on.
Okay, I have to reiterate here. The bracket is completely randomized. As soon as I saw this one, I couldn't believe it. This is an insane matchup. Because first, we have Goten, the youngest son of Goku. Normally, he's partnered with Trunks, as they tend to go into battles fused as Gotenks. But Goten has limitless potential, and he wants to prove that he can stand on his own. Because his opponent
is Trunks. This is the modern child version of Trunks. So with Vegeta as his father and his sparring partner, he certainly has the potential to run away with any fight that he's in. So which Saiyan type is gonna take the victory here in this battle? Let's find out. All right, folks, I am excited for this battle. This one should be a lot of fun.
Warning you, I won't hold back, Goten.
Oh man, Goten is charging up. He's ready. Okay, let's begin this battle. Both of these fighters starting at about halfway up the third health bar, and Trunks right away dealing a lot of damage to Goten, using that Vegeta strength. And immediately hits that Sonic Sway too. Goten is not looking so good here in the beginning of this fight. Now Trunks is a little bit older, but oh man, it looked like he is using every bit of his strength here. And Trunks immediately going in for sparking mode, but Goten goes for the Kamehameha, and now Trunks is going for the victory cannon. Let's see if this connects. Goten does manage to dodge it. Goten could use this opportunity here to charge up, and he is. Now we could see Trunks again if Goten uses his ultimate attack, which could be interesting, and it looks like he is. All right, he is charging up for this duo Kamehameha, and that's gonna connect. We do get to see the Trunks cameo against Trunks. That is gonna deal a lot of damage here, and that is gonna put Goten in the lead as well. Now Trunks could still use his victory cannon, and it looks like he is. I wonder if Goten is going to be able to block it. He can't. It looks like he flew right into it, and that's going to put Goten on his his last health bar, about halfway down. Now Goten is looking like he's going to be trying to get some of this armor here, and now he's going in, but Trunks just wins that brief little Snap Vanish duel. Goten now charging up. If either of them hit their ultimate attacks here, that is going to be it for this fight. And that is going to be Trunks going for the victory cannon. Let's see if Goten is going to do the same. He dodges it, and now it is going to be in Goten's court to hit this Kamehameha. He fires it off, and it connects. I believe that will do enough damage to take Trunks down, and Goten is going to advance. And that is Goten advancing to the next round. Next up, we have Majin Buu. One of the newest Majin around the block, Buu brings a variety of new attacks to the table and is ready to claim his spot in the Pantheon of Legend. And he's going up against Ribrianne, a warrior of love from Universe 2. Ribrianne uses the power of love to defeat her opponents. I personally don't get it, but it's worked for her so far. It's time for the exciting battle of Majin Buu versus Ribrianne. Okay, this should be another interesting one. Of course, Majin Buu's voice is still in Japanese. Now, is demon magic or love a stronger power? I'm excited to find out. All right, let's go. Ooh, right away, Buu doing a little bit of damage, but man, this is early days here, and Ribrianne gets a nice combo off. All right, and she is still going here. Buu did not recover, I guess, and now he's going to be charging up. Let's see what he does here. He goes all the way into sparking mode, and he is going to stop Ribrianne from doing the same. He still has an opportunity to use his ultimate attack here as well. Although Ribrianne is going for this heart attack, and he is once again using the same one that he just used, and that is going to make contact, putting him back in the lead. It looks like Buu is just spamming this attack. He's feeling very comfortable. He uses that Majin power to get some buffs. Now Ribrianne is coming back in. It looks like she's the most comfortable using her fists in this fight. And that is going to put them at just about the same health. She uses that Insta-Spark move, putting her into sparking mode, while Buu now is kind of low on ki. All right, she is using that heart attack, and that's going to make contact, doing a little bit of damage to Buu and putting her squarely in the lead here. All right, she's going to send another heart at him, and he's not going to block it. That's just going to deal raw damage, putting Buu on his final health bar. And she's sending in another one, and he just tanks it. I think Buu is maybe feeling the love a little bit too much there, because he just allowed himself to get hit by that. That is Ribrianne moving on to the next round. Alright folks, we only have a couple fights left before the end of this half. And our next fighter is Spopovich. With the power of the Majin, Spopovich was able to put up a pretty brutal performance against Videl. Though he's just a man, the power that he's imbued with would certainly send somebody like me running the other way. But unfortunately for him, his opponent is Super Broly. This is the canon version of the character. This green-haired maniac has the power to wipe out galaxies, but we're assured he'll try to control himself in this fight. Just don't touch that pelt around his waist. Let's see which of these bulked out freaks is gonna take the victory. It's Spopovich versus Broly. Oh, this time we have two pretty yoked fighters, I'm not gonna lie. I've been so ready to see Broly in this tournament. But I'm also excited to see what Spopovich can do. Probably not much against this incredible energy. He doesn't have much to say. Alright, now Broly's starting at a pretty clear health advantage here over Spopovich, and he already has smacked him aside so that he can charge up some ki. Alright. Oh, alright, he's cracking his neck. He's gonna get some buffs here. Alright, it looks like Broly is unsure of what to do. Spopovich getting a really nice combo off here, and now he's gonna... Ooh, it looked like he was gonna charge up a little bit of ki, but I guess not. Broly coming in with some ki spam of his own, but Spopovich is actually getting some nice combos off, and they are almost at about the same health here, but Broly now entering sparking mode. That ki blast just absolutely bouncing off. He goes for that energy wave attack, and that is going to be it. It does a little bit of damage, but this is still anybody's fight. He's going to go for it again, and Spopovich is going to knock it away. All right, he goes for that movement ability. It's basically an instant transmission there, closes the distance, and I guess it did work out for him there as he won that brief little encounter. And now Broly is going to be charging up to sparking mode again? I guess not. Looks like Spopovich was going for that rush, but instead they enter into this clash. And that's going to go to Spopey. Okay, and Broly going for this beam again, and once again it's going to get deflected by Spopovich. Now Spopovich could have tried to enter sparking mode there. Broly just standing still. All right, he's charging up again, and we are going to be getting another of these beams, and that's going to connect, dealing a lot of damage to Spopovich. Now Broly is using his Insta-Spark move, and he's just going to be blasting another one of these beams. If he gets hit by one more, it might be the end, and he's going for it. Now Spopovich is going to block it, but he is still now on his last health bar. It's not looking very good for Spopovich. Of course, he could try to charge up and use one of his ultimate abilities, but at this point, I think it is just in Broly's court. All right, a nice little Snap Vanish duel, and that's going to go to Spopes. And he's going for this rush now. Let's see if it connects. It does! Spopovich going down with everything. He's not leaving anything on the table here, folks. He's charging up. Broly coming in with that Ultra Movement again. Or Beast Movement. I can't remember what it's called. But he is just trying to get in and close the distance and deal this little bit of damage that Spopovich has left. But Spopovich is actually putting up a pretty excellent fight here. All right, both fighters vanishing around. Spopovich winning these brief encounters pretty non-stop. And he's charging up to sparking mode now. If this connects, if he uses his ultimate attack, that is, that could be it for Broly. Broly getting hit by that perception, and now Spopovich gets that combo off. Broly finally charging up a little bit of ki here, and he's going to be entering sparking mode himself. Now this is just up to Broly to make that contact, and he does. I was getting a little worried there for a second. But of course, that is going to be Broly moving on. Alright, and the first fighter up in our next battle is going to be Caulifla. A spunky and cocky Saiyan from Universe 6, Caulifla tingled so good she unlocked Super Saiyan 2, and she's ready to show it off. And she's going up against Piccolo fused with Kami. After fusing with a couple other Namekians, Piccolo got a massive power boost. This version of Piccolo has a brand new confidence of his own and a slew of brand new techniques. Let's see which of these fighters is going to advance to the next round. You know, I'm excited to see Piccolo again in this tournament so soon, and he is quite familiar with fighting Saiyans, so we'll see how he stands up against Caulifla.
Meditation alone won't improve my skills.
Okay, let's go. Can he stand up to a Super Saiyan 2? Right away, that Sonic Sway is going to come out. And Caulifla is going ham on Piccolo right now, already dealing that 1 health bar of damage. Now, let's see if this is Piccolo sizing her up, or if she is just that relentless and powerful. All right, she's going for that Crush Cannon beam, I believe. And it looks like he's coming in for the special beam cannon. Piccolo does have a little bit of armor here. He might want to get in close while he has that. But both of these fighters are going to be charging up a little bit here. Caulifla entering sparking mode. Piccolo trying to do the same, but he was not able to do it quick enough. He goes for the light grenade. We could be seeing a beam struggle here. Let's see which one of these fighters comes out on top. This light grenade versus this crush cannon. And that is going to be the light grenade taking the victory there. And that's going to put Piccolo in the lead here. Caulifla still having a little bit of sparking meter left, but it is going to burn down before she's able to use it. And now Piccolo has his ultimate attack online, which is the Hell Zone grenade. Okay, and he is going for the light grenade instead, and that's going to make contact. Caulifla looks like she got a little bit lost there. Now Piccolo's sparking meter does burn down, but he's going to be getting this armor back up, which is going to be good for him. Now that he has his lead in this fight, just trying to stay safe is the best thing for him to do. But instead he does take a little bit of damage there. Now they are on just about the same HP. So we'll have to see what Caulifla and Piccolo both decide to do in this fight going forward. The special beam cannon is going to come out, and that's going to pierce through Caulifla's guard, leaving her on her final health bar. All right, once again, Piccolo is going to be getting some of this armor. And Caulifla manages to break through it and then enter sparking mode. If she calls in Kale for the reinforcements here, it could be the end of Piccolo, but instead she goes for her regular beam while Piccolo tries to enter sparking mode. He goes for the special beam cannon. Now neither of these fighters in sparking mode, and Piccolo's still in the lead. This is his time to get in close. He sees the opening and he takes it. That is Piccolo moving on. Of course, that is going to be Piccolo fused with Kami, moving on to the next round.
Next up, we have another version of Gohan, but this is from an alternate future, the timeline that future Trunks comes from. Though he was felled fighting the androids, he is still an extremely powerful fighter, and single-handedly, get it, defended the future as best he could until the end. And he's going up against Super Baby 2. Now, Baby is anything but. This Tuffle is ready to tussle and won't let anyone, especially a Saiyan, stand in his way. Get ready for another thrilling match. It's Gohan versus Baby.
Okay, I am ready to see future Gohan fight, or as some people call him, future Gohan. And it looks like he's ready to fight too.
I won't let anyone interfere with my plan.
All right, we have two fighters from alternate futures, which is interesting here, very thematic. And immediately Gohan is coming out swinging. Of course, he only has one arm, but he is using it to the best of his abilities. Though, unfortunately, it looks like Baby gets a really good combo off there as well. All right, we are going for the Masenko, and that is going to make contact, dealing a ton of damage to Baby. All right, now Baby is going for that final flash, but he kicks it away like it's nothing, and he goes for another beam himself here, leaving Baby with just under 2 health bars left. Gohan now wanting to charge up all the way, but he unfortunately doesn't have the skill slots to do it. But he goes for the special beam cannon, point blank, while Baby is charging up into sparking mode, leaving Baby on his last. Oh, but he does go in with that Insta-Spark move, and now he is going all in on Gohan, and we could see that Revenge Death Ball come out here, especially if Gohan can't break out of this combo. All right, both fighters taking a little break there from the, just a little breather for both of them. The barrier is going to come out from Gohan. Gohan doesn't have the opportunity here, but the final, to charge up to sparking mode, but Baby's final flash just came out, and now Gohan is seeing the opportunity. Baby, with half of his final health bar left, he just needs to get in and be ruthless, but Baby has managed to burn down a lot of Gohan's health, and now he is on his last health bar as well. Baby is charging all the way up, and so is Gohan. This is it. If either of these ultimate attacks make contact, it surely will be the end, but Gohan instead opts to hit the special beam cannon, which leaves Baby at 1 HP, and if Gohan can get just a little bit of damage off, it would be over, and he uses the barrier to break out of that combo.
It doesn't matter. Defeating
Major bummer, dude, you just won. And that is future Gohan moving on to the next round. Alright folks, and this is going to be the final battle of part 1 of round 1 of Fantasy Fight Season 3. If you're enjoying the battle so far, why don't you consider clicking that like button and hitting that sub button? It really helps me out a lot. But with that, let's get into this final battle. And folks, like I said, this bracket was randomized. First up, we have Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Now, we've already seen Super Saiyan 4 in this tournament, but Goku's was achieved via regrowing his tail, turning into an ape, controlling himself, and pushing even further beyond. And his opponent is Mini Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta. Now, we've only gotten Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta very recently, but in this form, Vegeta was able to take on a Tamagami with ease. He's so confident, he barely even uses his hands when fighting in this form. Let's see if he can kick it against Goku. It's time for the final fight of part 1 of round 1, Super Saiyan 4 Goku versus Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta. I hope you guys are ready for the final battle of the first part of round 1 of our tournament. Super Saiyan 4 Goku versus Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta. Both of these fighters are at their max power. Okay, let's go. We have a lot of blast powers. We have a lot of unique attacks between both of these fighters. I am excited to see where this fight goes. And right away, Vegeta is going to be the one taking the early lead. He is going for that flash strike, but that's actually going to hit the wall instead of Goku. He's going for another one, it looks like. And that's going to hit the stage instead of Goku. Maybe he should get higher up in the air before trying to throw more of those off. But that one is going to get dodged, and Goku hits that Kamehameha, which is going to connect. All right, both of these fighters staying in their distance here. But now Goku is going to be getting close, and that is once again another one of those kicks just making contact with the stage and not its intended target. This is just some unfortunate placement for Vegeta here. Okay, Goku hitting that instant transmission, and then the I'll beat you in 5 seconds. He does have, in fact, 5 seconds with this power-up, and that Kamehameha is gonna get blocked, and now those buffs are gone. All right, a nice little Snap Vanish duel is gonna go to Vegeta, but then Goku counters back with one of his own. Both of these fighters now about the same HP. Both fighters now also entering into sparking mode. Vegeta going for that kick, and that is not going to be enough to break through Goku's guard. He goes for the Kamehameha, and that does connect, dealing a lot of damage to Vegeta. And he's going to go for another one here, and that's going to leave Vegeta at just about 1 HP. One good attack left. He goes to enter sparking mode. Let's see if this will... Oh, it does not! I thought it was going to be enough to stop Goku, but he uses this rush to put Vegeta down. The power of Super Saiyan 4 is just more powerful than Super Saiyan 3. And that is Super Saiyan 4 winning the last fight of this part of the tournament. All right, folks, that is going to bring us to the end of part 1. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell so you don't miss the next part. We're going to take a break, but we will be back with even more very soon. And folks, I live stream almost every weekday here on YouTube as well as on Twitch and TikTok. So if you see that we're live sometime, come say hi. And folks, I have been your host, Gunchpot. This has been part 1 of our ultimate tournament of power and Sparking Zero. Thank you everybody again so much for watching, and of course, as always, see you next time.